Love doesn't always arrive with fireworks, grand gestures, or sweeping declarations. Sometimes, it walks in quietly, wrapped in nervous glances, small gestures, and unspoken moments that linger longer than expected. Sometimes, the person falling hardest for you is the one who hasn't found the words to admit it, not even to himself. And if you're paying attention, you'll realize his silence is loud. Men, especially those not used to expressing emotions openly, often show their affection in ways that aren't obvious. They may not say, "I love you" early on, or at all, but their actions will begin to shift. Suddenly, he's around more often. He's remembering things you thought no one noticed. He's listening, really listening. He's offering you space when you need it and protection when you don't ask for it. And the most telling part, he's doing it without expecting anything in return. This type of love is cautious, tender, and real. It grows not through constant declarations, but through consistency, effort, and silent presence. He might get jealous but brush it off with a joke. He might stumble over his words or go quiet in serious conversations. And yet, through it all, he stays close, not to control, not to impress, but to be near the one who makes him feel something he can't yet explain. In a world where people often speak more than they mean, the man who shows you affection in the in-between moments, without fanfare, without pressure, is worth noticing. Because even without a title, even without saying the words, he's slowly carving out space for you in his heart. This list isn't about decoding mixed signals. It's about recognizing the quiet, steady language of someone falling in love the only way he knows how, through his actions. So if you've been wondering whether he feels it too, read on. These 15 signs might just reveal the love is still learning how to say. 1. He gets nervous around you but tries to hide it. He gets nervous around you but tries to hide it. It's in the way his hands fidget when you walk into the room, how his voice catches slightly when he starts a sentence, or how he stumbles over simple words that he normally says with ease. He might play it off with a laugh, adjust his shirt collar, or look away quickly after making eye contact, not because he doesn't want to look at you, but because the moment feels too intense. It's not fear you're seeing. It's that quiet storm of emotion he hasn't yet named. He cares more than he wants to admit, maybe more than he even realizes. Around you, he's suddenly aware of every word he says, every move he makes. He overthinks, second-guesses, and sometimes says something silly just to fill the silence, hoping you won't notice the flush in his cheeks. This nervous energy isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's in the pauses, in how he suddenly gets quiet when your hand brushes his, or how he smiles like he's holding back something deeper. When you speak, he listens a little too intently. When you laugh, he smiles before he realizes he's doing it. That nervousness is his heart trying to speak through a body still too scared to say the words. He may joke more than usual or act distracted, not because he's uninterested, but because his feelings are stronger than he knows how to express. Love, for him, isn't loud confessions. It's shaky hands, hesitant glances, and a hope he's too afraid to name. But if you watch closely, you'll see it. The way he lights up around you, the way his nerves betray him. That's the language of someone falling in love without knowing how to say it. 2. He remembers the smallest details you mention. He remembers the smallest details you mention, the kind most people forget within minutes. You might casually bring up your favorite snack, the name of your childhood pet, or a book you once said made you cry. And weeks later, he'll reference it as if it mattered deeply to him too. This isn't by accident. It's not something he does with everyone. When a man is falling for you, even if he doesn't say it out loud, his attention becomes selective. Your words linger longer in his memory. Your preferences, your routines, your stories, they become engraved in his mind like soft footprints he keeps returning to. You'll notice it when he surprises you with your favorite coffee, the exact way you like it, even though you only mentioned it once. Or when he asks about your friend's job interview, the one you didn't expect him to remember. He might bring up how you said rainy weather makes you feel nostalgic, or recall the exact way you described your dream vacation. These small details, to him, aren't small at all. They are pieces of who you are, and in holding on to them, he's showing you that your world matters to him. It's his way of saying, I see you. I hear you. Not just in the big moments, but in the passing ones too. And while he may not know how to confess his feelings, this quiet attentiveness reveals them more clearly than any grand gesture. Love, after all, often hides in the unspoken, and the fact that he holds onto your words like they're treasures speaks volumes. He may not have said, I love you, but is already showing it, one remembered detail at a time. 3. He looks at you when he thinks you're not watching. He looks at you when he thinks you're not watching, not just once, but often, and with a kind of softness that words can't fully capture. It's in those quiet moments when you're focused on something else, maybe laughing with someone or just lost in thought, that his eyes find you. There's no performance in his gaze, no intention to be seen, just an unguarded expression that tells you everything he's too afraid to say. When a man is falling for you and doesn't know how to say it, his eyes become storytellers. They linger a little longer than they should. They trace the way you smile, how you tuck your hair behind your ear, the small things you never notice about yourself but he can't seem to unsee. He may quickly look away when your eyes meet his, pretending he wasn't staring. But you'll catch the shift in his expression, the way his whole demeanor changes when you're near. This kind of glance isn't about desire alone. It's admiration. It's affection. It's that internal tug-of-war between wanting to say something and not knowing how. You'll see it in how he looks at you when he thinks you're too busy to notice, how he watches you talk, how he pays attention to how you move through a room. He might be in a group, surrounded by conversation, but his eyes will find their way back to you like a habit he doesn't realize he has. His silence isn't emptiness. It's filled with meaning. And those glances, they are quiet declarations. He may never say, I'm falling for you out loud. But if you pay attention, his eyes already are. 4. He finds reasons to be near you often. He finds reasons to be near you often, even when there's no real need. Maybe he offers to help with something small, like carrying a bag or adjusting your chair. Maybe he shows up early just to catch a moment with you before everyone else arrives. Sometimes, it's subtle, choosing the seat next to you, standing a little closer than necessary, or always volunteering to join the same group activity. It might seem casual, even coincidental, but over time, it forms a quiet pattern. He's drawn to you, even if he doesn't fully understand why. When a man is falling for you but hasn't found the words, proximity becomes his comfort zone. Being near you gives him a sense of connection he can't explain yet. He may not be ready to hold your hand or confess his feelings, but simply being in your space, hearing your voice, watching you smile, being part of your day, is enough to make him feel something deeper. He might say things like, I was just passing by, or I figured you might need help, masking emotion with practicality. But beneath the surface, there's intention. He's not hovering, he's orbiting, like something in him needs to be close to whatever you bring into his life. And when he's near, he's more relaxed, more present, more himself. He's not always trying to impress. Sometimes he's just quietly existing beside you, hoping you'll feel it too. Love doesn't always enter with grand gestures. Sometimes, it walks slowly into the room and finds a seat next to you, again and again. So if he always seems to be around, not because he has to be, but because he chooses to be, it's not a coincidence. It's care, disguised as closeness. 5. He supports your dreams without needing credit. He supports your dreams without needing credit. He's the quiet cheerleader in the background, the one who sends you resources, encourages your ideas, and believes in your vision even when you doubt yourself. He doesn't make it about him. He doesn't announce what he's done for you or expect recognition. His joy comes from watching you succeed, grow, and become the person you've always wanted to be. When a man is falling for you but doesn't know how to say it, he invests in your dreams like they're his own. Maybe he helps you prep for a big interview, or sends you a link to a course that aligns with something you once mentioned in passing. He listens carefully, not just to what you say, but to what lights you up, and then he takes quiet steps to support that spark. He doesn't ask for applause. He doesn't broadcast his involvement. His pride isn't in being thanked. It's in knowing he helped you move closer to what matters. He's not trying to lead your journey. just walk beside you. And when setbacks happen, he doesn't say, "I told you so." He reminds you of your strength, your purpose. He holds space for your ambitions, even when they don't center around him. That kind of support, the quiet, selfless kind, is rare. And it's deeply revealing. Because love, at its core, wants to see the other person shine. So when he backs you without fanfare, when he lifts you without ever stepping in the spotlight himself, that's not just kindness. That's someone who's emotionally invested. Someone who sees your future and wants to be part of it, even if he hasn't said the words yet. And that, in itself, speaks volumes. 6. He gets jealous but tries to play it cool. He gets jealous but tries to play it cool. It's not the kind of jealousy that causes scenes or leads to arguments. It's quiet, almost hidden behind a mask of calm. You might notice a sudden shift in his mood when another guy makes you laugh a little too long, or when you mention someone else who's been kind to you. He won't say much, won't accuse, won't even ask questions. But his silence speaks louder than words, and his body language betrays the feelings he's trying to control. Maybe he suddenly withdraws, cracking a joke to brush it off. Maybe he changes the subject or becomes unusually focused on something else in the room. But beneath that cool exterior is someone who cares deeply and doesn't quite know how to handle the fear of losing something he hasn't fully claimed. That fear, soft and unspoken, comes from how much you mean to him. Jealousy, in this case, isn't about control. It's about vulnerability. It's about a man who's slowly realizing how much he values your presence, and how much it would hurt to see someone else take the place he's been quietly dreaming of. But because he doesn't want to scare you away, or seem possessive, he tucks it behind casual shrugs and half-smiles. This hidden jealousy isn't meant to manipulate. It's a sign of his emotional investment. He's still figuring out what to do with these feelings, trying to protect both you and himself from what he hasn't yet found the courage to say out loud. But if you look closely, in his eyes, in his stillness, in the way he lingers when you talk about someone else, you'll see the truth, his falling, and is scared to lose something he hasn't even had the chance to call his. 7. He opens up to you slowly over time. He opens up to you slowly over time. Not all at once, not in a grand, emotional flood, but in small, quiet moments that catch you off guard. At first, he may seem reserved, guarded even. He'll listen more than he speaks, keeping his emotions tucked neatly beneath the surface. But then, piece by piece, he begins to let you in. He starts by sharing harmless stories, funny childhood memories, silly mistakes, random thoughts. And gradually, those stories turn into deeper truths, things he doesn't tell most people. When a man is falling for you but doesn't quite know how to express it, vulnerability becomes his language, not through volume, but through trust. You'll see it when he tells you about something that hurt him, something he's never said aloud, or when he confesses a fear or dream that feels too tender for the world to mock. He doesn't just open up because he needs to talk. He does it because, with you, he feels safe. This kind of opening isn't forced. It's not loud or dramatic. It's steady, careful, and meaningful. Because for someone who protects their heart, every small revelation is a risk, a quiet hope that you'll handle it with care. And when he sees that you do, he offers more. You'll notice it in the late-night conversations, the moments he pauses before speaking, the way his tone softens when the topic hits close to home. It's his way of saying, "I trust you with who I really am." And though he may not have the words yet to say he's falling for you, his gradual openness is the truth unfolding, slow, steady, and sincere. Because real love doesn't rush. It reveals itself, one honest moment at a time. 8. He checks in on you for no reason. He checks in on you for no reason. No agenda, no big news, just a message that says, "How are you?" Or "Did you eat?" Or even something as simple as, "I saw this and thought of you." These small, seemingly casual moments aren't random. They are soft signals of care from someone who's thinking about you more often than he admits. When a man is falling for you but hasn't found the words, his check-ins become his way of staying connected. It's not just about knowing where you are. It's about knowing how you are. He wants to make sure your day is going okay, that you're smiling, that someone's looking out for you. He may mask it in jokes or playful messages, but underneath, there's a quiet sincerity that keeps bringing you to his mind. He might send you a meme just to hear you laugh, or ask how your meeting went even though you barely mentioned it. He remembers the things you said, and he follows up, not because he's trying to impress you, but because he genuinely cares. His timing may feel random, but it's usually when your name has lingered in his thoughts longer than he expected. These check-ins are his way of saying, "You matter," without the pressure of a confession. He's trying to be present without being overwhelming, to show up for you in ways that feel light but meaningful. And the fact that he reaches out for no reason at all, that's the reason. Because falling in love doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes, it just keeps checking in, quietly, consistently, and with a heart that's already halfway yours. 9. He smiles when your name comes up. He smiles when your name comes up. It's instinctive, unplanned, a soft curve of his lips that appears the moment someone mentions you. Even when he tries to hide it, the shift in his expression is undeniable. His eyes light up, his posture relaxes, and for a brief second, the world feels lighter just because you are part of the conversation. That smile isn't rehearsed. It's a reflection of how deeply you've settled into his thoughts. When a man is falling for you but hasn't said it aloud, your name carries weight, not heavy, but warm. It's tied to memories, inside jokes, moments that made him feel seen. And so, when he hears it, his mind doesn't go to obligation or duty. It goes to comfort, to admiration, to a sense of quiet happiness he hasn't fully explained yet. Maybe it happens when a friend teases him, or when you're mentioned in passing during a conversation. He might not even notice his smiling, but others often will. That subconscious reaction is telling. It means your presence in his life isn't just meaningful, it's cherished. And while he might not be ready to say the words, that silent smile is already doing the talking. This kind of reaction isn't forced. It's the kind of smile that sneaks in, soft, genuine, and completely unintentional. Because sometimes love doesn't shout. It simply shows itself in the way a person lights up when they hear your name. And if his smile appears every time you're mentioned, know this, you're already a bright spot in his world, whether he said it out loud or not. 10. He respects your boundaries more than others do. He respects your boundaries more than others do. Not out of obligation, but because he genuinely cares about how you feel, about your comfort, your space, and your voice. He listens when you say no. He doesn't push when you're hesitant. He doesn't guilt you into yes. Whether it's something as simple as declining a call when you're tired or as serious as needing emotional space, he honors it without question, even if it means holding back his own desires. When a man is falling for you and doesn't yet know how to say it, his respect becomes one of the strongest clues. He doesn't test your limits to get closer. He patiently waits for your invitation. You'll notice that he asks before assuming, checks in before stepping in, and gives you room to breathe instead of crowding you with pressure or expectation. It's not detachment. It's a quiet kind of love that's rooted in reverence. What makes this stand out is that others may try to bend your boundaries for convenience or connection, but he never does. He shows that he values not just who you are, but how you choose to move through the world. That respect isn't about distance. It's about trust. It's his way of saying, I care about who you are, not just what I want from you. This kind of respect is rare, and it's not performative. He doesn't do it to look good. He does it because your peace matters to him. And while he may still be searching for the right words to express how he feels, his actions already whisper the truth. When someone truly values you, they never step over your lines. They stand just outside them, patiently, hoping you'll let them in when you're ready. 11. He includes you in future plans casually. He includes you in future plans casually, not in a big, dramatic way, but in small, almost effortless mentions that reveal how naturally you fit into his vision of what's ahead. He'll say things like, you'd love that place, or we should go there someday, without thinking twice. It's not a forced inclusion, it's instinctive. To him, the idea of a future feels incomplete if you're not part of it. These moments often slip into ordinary conversations. He might mention a concert happening next month, a trip he's thinking of taking next year, or even where he imagines living someday. and your presence is woven into the narrative without a second thought. It's not about locking you in or rushing things. It's about how naturally his mind aligns you with everything he's excited about. This kind of casual inclusion speaks volumes. It shows that he doesn't just enjoy your company now. He wants it to last. He envisions your laughter on future adventures, your input in life's bigger decisions, your presence in everyday joys that haven't happened yet. And he may not even realize how often he does it, how your name finds its way into dreams and plans he hasn't even fully formed. He doesn't frame it like a proposal. There's no pressure, no declarations. Just a quiet thread connecting today to tomorrow, and you in it. Because when someone is falling for you, their future begins to take shape around the idea of you. And even if he hasn't said the words out loud, his casual we is already writing the love story he's still learning how to tell. 12. He defends you even when you're not around. He defends you even when you're not around. You may never hear about it firsthand, but in rooms where your name comes up, in conversations where others may question, judge, or misunderstand you, he stands up quietly but firmly, making it clear that you deserve respect. Not because he's trying to win points or play the hero, but because he feels protective of you in a way that runs deeper than friendship or admiration. When a man is falling for you but hasn't said it aloud, his loyalty begins to show in the shadows. He doesn't allow others to mock your choices, make light of your struggles, or twist your words. If someone speaks with cynicism about you, he doesn't stay silent. He steps in, even if it's subtle. A look, a sharp pause, a quiet, "That's not fair," or "You don't know her like I do." He holds the line for you, even when there's nothing in it for him. That kind of defense isn't performative. It's instinctive. It's what happens when someone values you deeply and wants to protect the integrity of how you're seen in the world. His defense isn't always loud, but it's consistent, and it comes from the part of his heart that already feels connected to yours. You might never know the exact words he used, but you'll sense it in how others speak about you when he's been in the room, in how respected you remain even in your absence. Because when a man is falling for you, your name becomes something sacred to him. And even without a label or confession, the way he stands up for you, even silently, even privately, says everything his lips haven't found the courage to voice yet. 13. He listens more than he talks with you. He listens more than he talks with you. Not out of shyness or lack of things to say, but because what you say genuinely matters to him. When you speak, he leans in, not just physically, but emotionally. His attention doesn't drift. His eyes stay focused. He remembers what you said last week, last month, in passing. He's not just hearing you. He's absorbing every word, every tone, every pause. Because to him, your thoughts, feelings, and stories are worth more than his own voice in that moment. This kind of listening isn't passive. It's intentional. He doesn't rush to interrupt with his own experiences. He doesn't try to fix everything you say or steer the conversation back to himself. He simply makes space, quiet, patient, generous space, for you to be fully heard. And that space is where trust grows. When a man is falling for you but hasn't said the words, this is one of the clearest signs. He may not know how to express what's happening in his heart, but he shows it by how carefully he holds your words. Listening becomes his love language, one that says, "I want to understand you, not just be near you." And in a world that often rushes past silence or talks just to fill the air, his stillness speaks volumes. Because the man who truly listens is the one who's already letting you in, not just into the conversation, but into the quiet corners of his heart. 14. He mirrors your mood and energy. He mirrors your mood and energy. Without even realizing it, his emotional rhythm begins to align with yours. When you're joyful, his spirit lifts with yours. He smiles more, laughs easily, and seems energized just by being around you. When you're quiet or withdrawn, he softens too. Not to mimic, but to meet you where you are. It's not performance. It's emotional syncing, a silent connection that reflects just how deeply tuned in he is to your presence. You'll notice it in subtle ways. If you're excited about something, he amplifies that excitement. If you're feeling overwhelmed, his tone shifts to calm and supportive. He adapts. not because he's trying to impress you, but because your mood genuinely affects his own. Your emotions matter to him so much that they become a part of his emotional landscape, even if he doesn't say a word about it. This mirroring isn't about losing himself. It's about emotional intimacy. He's not copying you. He's responding to you. It's a sign that is emotionally present, connected, and quietly invested in how you feel. And when a man is falling for you but hasn't yet said it, this kind of attunement is his way of expressing closeness without needing language. It's a silent dance, one where your energy sets the tempo, and he instinctively moves with you. Because sometimes, love doesn't look like declarations or grand gestures. Sometimes, it looks like someone matching your mood just so you never feel alone in it. 15. He gets quiet when emotions are high, but stays. He gets quiet when emotions are high, but stays. In moments of tension, sadness, or deep vulnerability, he might not know what to say. Words may fail him, and his silence might feel confusing at first. But if you look closely, you'll see something more meaningful. He doesn't walk away. He doesn't shut down emotionally or distance himself. He stays right there, present, steady, and quietly supportive. For a man who's falling for you but hasn't learned how to voice it, high emotions can be overwhelming. He feels deeply, but expression isn't always his strength. So instead of rushing to fix things or offering the wrong words, he chooses presence over performance. He may sit beside you in silence. He may offer a gentle look, a small gesture, or simply let you talk without interruption. His silence isn't avoidance, it's reverence. It's his way of holding space for your feelings without making it about him. You'll notice he doesn't retreat. He might not have the perfect response, but he doesn't disappear. He's learning how to handle the depth of what he feels, both yours and his own. And in staying, in choosing not to flee or deflect, he's already showing a kind of love that many overlook: emotional loyalty. Because real love doesn't always speak. Sometimes, it sits beside you when the world feels heavy. Sometimes, it offers no solution, just quiet strength. And in those moments, when he's still, when he's silent, but he's there, that's when he's telling you the truth, without saying a word.